Hello, Ruth Squires here with RES Luxury Group of eXp Realty. And it is December 1st. It is a cool, crisp morning here in Central Florida. We got down into the low 30s last night, so we woke up to some very cool temperatures. And it will get back up into the 60s today, but these are the couple of days of winter that we get to experience during the winter months. So we only have a handful of these, so we try to enjoy them for the difference that it makes compared to the hot. So today is December 1st, which means it's time for market stats. And I want to give you a quick rundown on what's happened from the end of October to the end of November. I will just give you some insights into what the expectations are for the new year. So stay tuned. We'll go over the stats first, and then we'll get into projections for the new year. And then finally, I'm going to wrap up by telling you about the initiative that the RES Luxury Group team is going to be making in 2025. It's very important. We're always striving to impact the real estate market in our local community and industry. So we've come up with some very important goals for 2025 that I want to share with you. But to start out with, let's talk about how the numbers have changed since the end of October. So I'm going to share my screen just so you can see. This is the report that I run monthly, and this is the stats for November. Now, of course, I have price categories here for different segments of the market, and this is all residential real estate in Citrus County, Florida, as recorded in our local multiple listing service. So there are properties that are outside of the multiple listing service that would not be compiled into this report, but as far as our MLS goes, this is the data that we have. So looking month over month, the main things that I will tell you are expired homes have increased by 27 homes on the market. If I go down to the bottom here, you can see kind of the stats for the overall market, and this last column is the expired homes. So last month we had 542 expired homes for the month, and this month we have 569. So that's an increase of that 25 homes that we just talked about. And the next one we want to talk about is active inventory. So active inventory is up slightly. So last month we were looking at 1,563 active homes on the market. This month we're looking at 1,607. So that's 44 more houses for sale. So if you're buying right now, there's more opportunity for you, 44 additional homes to choose from across our entire pricing spectrum. If we go back then to how many homes sold in the last 6 months, as of October 31st, we had 2,482 homes sold in the last 6 months. We go back to our current November, we have 2,399 homes sold. So that's a decrease of 88 sales from October to November. So of course, when you have the dynamic of more homes on the market, as minimal as it is, more homes on the market, and you've got slower or lower buying activity, less homes selling, you're certainly going to have tracking higher days on market, as well as the expectation that more homes expire off the market unsold because of the time frame. And then also we always talk about price condition, or both lead into potential expired listings. But right now the market is slower moving, and so it does take longer for homes to sell. We're tracking on average right now just over 2 months on the market. And it's funny because that feels so uncomfortable, I think, for everyone, whether you're a professional in the industry or you're just the average homeowner and consumer. It feels uncomfortable because we came out of the past few years of having a much faster paced market. So if you're buying, that's great, because you don't have to be in such a crazy, oh, we've got to see this house that hit the market today and make an offer today and go over list price, and we can't have inspections and we can't do that. Stuff is of the past. So that's great if you're buying. For sellers, it feels uncomfortable, but I will tell you that a couple of months on the market is pretty typical. I mean, that's a pretty reasonable thing to expect when you're trying to sell your house. Always your trusted real estate professional can help you navigate whichever side you're on, the time frame it's going to take to sell, or how quickly you have to move and how you need to negotiate if you're on the buy side. But the market, we do want to stay on top of the cycle that we're in and how things are looking. So that leads me into projections for 2025. We ended November at a slightly lower interest rate for the 30-year fixed mortgage at 6.88%. So we had crested above 7%, and we kind of sat there for a little while. We finally came back down below 7%. So that feels a little refreshing, and I'm hopeful that we'll see some more of that gradual softening of the interest rate so that more buyers can feel like they have some more ability to purchase the home that they want. So that's one of the things that's become really hard. I heard some really staggering statistics just recently where pre-COVID, 2/3 of Americans were able to afford their own home. Since COVID, post-COVID, it's cut in half, whereas only 1/3 of Americans are able to afford their own home. And I think that's a really, really sad dynamic and statistic to be hearing. There's a lot of things that play into that. Certainly the rising values of homes, the median home price almost doubling since pre-COVID, has made it very hard for first-time home buyers, people that are on a more fixed income or a more limited income, to afford a house. So you've got that, and then you have the fact that interest rates are higher, so payments are higher, so the average mortgage mortgage payment is more than doubled. So that's made it much harder for a young person or first-time home buyer to be able to afford a house. And then, of course, we all know that wages have not kept pace with these rising costs. So it's not just to home ownership, it's all of the cost of living, and our wages just haven't kept pace with that. So that creates a whole nother mess of how do people get into a home. And that's been something that in America we've been so blessed to have the opportunities that we have to own our own home, to own land, to do some of these things that are really important to us for our families and for health and vitality and just living the lifestyle that we want. And so I feel like it's really important being a professional in the industry to try to help people to still achieve that goal. So it may be that less and less people are able to, but I think also the people that are able to don't always realize that they can. People aren't aware of the programs that are available to them that can help them get into homes. Here in Citrus County, we're really lucky because we have USDA widespread across the entire county. USDA is a government loan program that's a no down payment loan. It's for families that are lower income, and so there are some qualification criteria dependent upon the size of your family and your income, but it's a no down payment loan, and all of our properties qualify for that within reason as far as the price, because certain limitation to how much home you can buy. But that's a beautiful thing for a first-time home buyer. So that's something really important to keep in mind. It's not just VA loans that are no down payment. And then of course you have the government VA loans, which is a beautiful thing. I feel like we need to be rewarding our veterans with everything we possibly can. And it's honestly, it's getting to be less and less so as far as the rewards. If you've served our country, take advantage of those things. And we're here, our team specializes in helping veterans. So we want to help you make sure you get all of those benefits that you deserve. There's things like that that's just really brushing the surface of it. There are so many programs that are available, and I can't keep up with all of them, and I work in it. I live and breathe this on the day-to-day. But what's beautiful for us as the real estate professionals, we have our team of experts that we work with, so we know exactly who to go to say, hey, tell us about what kind of programs there are to help with down payment or closing costs and things like that. And then beyond that, we have partners in the industry who will do things like delay payment on inspections to allow somebody to be able to purchase a home with minimum out-of-pocket expenses. So there are ways to do it, and I think there's just a misnomer kind of in the general population, general public, that says, well, if you don't have your 20% down, if you don't have enough money saved, then forget about it, you can't buy a house, and you shouldn't be buying a house. And I disagree with that. I was 19 years old when I bought my first home, young family, and wanted to have the security of owning my own home for my family to just feel good each day and just know that we had a solid place. We were protected in that sense. And so I was 19. Well, my peers thought that was crazy I was buying a house, but I found programs, was able to do things at that age that allowed me to get into home ownership. And that can be one of the best forced savings plans a young person can have. It does great things for your credit. It forces you to be building equity, right? You don't have any control over that. You're making your payments and you're building equity in an asset that has value, and that then translates into future opportunities that you have. So there's probably no better way to really get some financial security as a young person. And I and the team here at RES Luxury Group, we want to help more and more people achieve that goal. So if you know somebody who is thinking about buying a home or would love to buy a home but doesn't know if it's possible, I think one of the biggest challenges to entry is not knowing where to start, not knowing what to do. And that's what we want to be able to provide, is some guidance and resources to really kind of roll out the red carpet to help people to navigate the process and do it in the right way. So we'd love to talk to you or any of your family, friends, loved ones that may be needing this type of assistance. And in 2025, this is going to be our mission. We are going to be thinking about this all the time and trying to bring opportunities to people as much as we possibly can. So certainly think of us, we're your trusted real estate professionals, and at RES Luxury Group we bring you white glove service and red carpet treatment because your satisfaction is our guarantee. Give us a call, we'd love to chat. 352-794-1426.